The first lie turned the sky pale yellow. It happened during a morning press conference when a government official smiled into cameras and denied knowledge of something everyone suspected was true. As the words left his mouth, the blue above the city thinned, as if washed with old sunlight. People squinted upward, confused, checking weather apps and pollution indexes. By the time the conference ended, the sky had returned to normal. Most dismissed it as coincidence. Then it happened again. A child told her mother she had finished her homework. The clouds above their neighborhood flushed faintly pink, like embarrassment made visible. A salesman promised a product could do more than it ever would, and a gray smear spread across the afternoon. The pattern became undeniable within hours. Every lie, no matter how small, stained the sky. Scientists worked frantically, but the mechanism didn't matter. The rule was simple and cruelly elegant. Truth kept the sky clear. Deception colored it. At first, the changes were subtle. White lies barely shifted the hue, a blush at sunset, a faint tint at dawn. But repeated falsehoods layered themselves. Cities known for corruption began waking under permanent bruises of violet and brown. Entire regions dimmed beneath accumulated dishonesty, their skies heavy even on cloudless days. People learned quickly to look up. News cycles changed overnight. Debates were no longer fact-checked by experts, but by the horizon. A single false statistic could turn a bright noon sickly green. Politicians learned to pause mid-sentence, watching the sky nervously, correcting themselves before the damage spread. Some adapted, others doubled down, speaking until the heavens over their capitals darkened, like a storm that never rained. The economy shifted next. Advertising became a dangerous art. Exaggeration was still allowed technically, but every stretched promise left a visible mark. Companies that lied too often found their headquarters permanently shadowed, customers drifting away toward places where the light felt cleaner. Entire industries collapsed not from lawsuits, but from skies that never cleared. Personal relationships suffered in quieter ways. First dates were conducted outdoors, glances flicking upward after every compliment. Apologies were scrutinized against the color above them. "I'm fine" became a loaded phrase, capable of turning a clear afternoon faintly blue-gray. Some couples learned radical honesty. Others learned silence. Children adapted fastest. They pointed out colors adults pretended not to see. They asked why the sky above school board meetings looked so tired. They learned that lies weren't abstract mistakes, but environmental damage, something you could feel pressing down on a day. There were protests, of course. Some argued the sky was invasive, a violation of mental privacy. They claimed people deserved inner lies, harmless fictions that made survival possible. Movements formed demanding shade rights, building domes and filters to hide the truth above. Wealthy districts succeeded, sealing themselves under artificial blue. Poorer areas lived exposed, their skies honest and unforgiving. Then came the global blackout. It wasn't planned, it wasn't coordinated. It was the result of millions of small lies told in a single day. Excuses, denials, false reassurances, optimistic projections spoken by leaders who didn't want to admit fear. By evening, the sky over half the planet had turned a deep, suffocating black, darker than any night. Stars vanished. Birds fell silent. People stood in streets, faces tilted upward, realizing they were standing beneath the weight of everything untrue they had accepted. Panic spread, but panic didn't change the color. Only lies did. The first patch of blue returned over a hospital where a doctor finally told a family the truth they had been avoiding. It widened over a courtroom where a witness stopped protecting himself. Over a city square, a leader stepped to a microphone and said simply, "I don't know how to fix this." The sky lightened slowly, like breath returning to lungs. After that, the world didn't become perfectly honest. Fear was still fear. People still lied. But every falsehood carried a visible cost, and no one could pretend otherwise. Lies stopped being invisible shortcuts and became public pollution. Years later, travelers chose destinations by looking at satellite images of the sky, Children learned colors not just as wavelengths, but as consequences. And when the horizon glowed clear and deep blue after a difficult day, people felt something close to pride. Not because they were perfect, but because for once the world above them was light enough to breathe under.